Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a Diablo 3 Season 24 guide on farming Ethereals. Ethereals are special items that are just here for Season 24, but if you collect all 21 Ethereals before the season ends, you get a special achievement and unlock their Transmogs forever. This guide will explain the fastest way to farm all 21 Ethereals to ensure you don't end the season without this achievement. So we'll start by telling you what to do, then we'll tell you how to do it, and lastly we'll explain why you're doing it. But first, just a quick recap about what Ethereals are. Ethereals are the season theme of Season 24. These are 21 special items, 3 per class. These are the most powerful items in the game. They are retro items taken from Diablo 2, brought into Diablo 3, translated in some way. Just about every build can make use of Ethereals and gain more power through them. They are rare items to get. They have fixed stats on them for the most part, except for their 2 legendary powers, one of which will be a random class passive, and one will be a random weapon legendary power. These items are more rare than ancients, but they're not as rare as primals. In testing, it seems that on average, you'll get 100 regular legendary or set items for every 1 ethereal you get. Contrast that to primals, it's 1 to 400, 1 primal to 400 legendaries or sets, and compare that to ancients, it's 10% of the legendaries or sets you get will be ancient. So, how do you get Ethereals as quickly as possible? Well, we'll start by stressing that you don't need to be level 70 to get Ethereals. And we've tested and confirmed that the Ethereals themselves can be under level 70 and you still unlock that achievement. So, the fastest way to get all 21 will be playing in a group and speed running level 11 T6 rifts over and over and over. Once you've collected the 3 Ethereals for your class, you move on to another class and farm over and over and over again until you get the 3 for that next class, until you've gone through all 7 classes. Now, that said, Ethereals do drop as smart loot, meaning when an Ethereal drops, it is most likely to be for your class, but there's always a possibility to get a non-smart loot Ethereal. However, I would not bank on that in order to complete your set of 21. So it's possible that by the time you're doing your 7th class, well, maybe by then you've already collected a couple of off-class Ethereals and you won't need to farm up 3 for each class. But again, you're relying on the mercy of RNG. We're telling you here how to optimize and how to make the most use of your time to get these as quickly as possible. Now, I know it might sound onerous to have to make one of every class, but you just need to get that character powerful enough to speedrun level 11 T6 rifts, which is nothing. You don't need a fully decked out character. And if you're in a party, you just need one person to be killing things. You could have a completely naked character and just follow behind. If you do this and you take an average of 2 minutes per rift, in our testing we got on average 1 to 2 legendaries per run, so that's about 11 runs on average to get 1 ethereal item, so about 20 minutes per ethereal item. Now you might think, okay, 3 and I'm done. Well, not quite, because every time it's RNG. What ethereal are you going to get? It's always random. Now, some of you are going to be really lucky and you're going to get 1, 2, 3 in order, meaning in about 60 minutes you've gotten all the Ethereals for your class. If you look at the statistical distribution, roughly 1/5 of you will fall into that lucky camp of getting 1, 2, 3 and done. Almost half of you will be done after collecting 4 Ethereals. After collecting 6 Ethereals, about 75% of you will be done, and by 9 Ethereals, more than 90%, the vast majority of you, will have gotten 1 of each. So we're looking at here a minimum of about 60 minutes of farming per class. So if you're incredibly lucky, that's 7 hours of total effort, which you have 3 months to accomplish. And if you're not lucky, right? 21 hours of effort. Rather, that is to say that by 21 hours of effort, the vast majority, over 90% of you, will have gotten all 21 different Ethereals. Because again, on average, if you have to wait for 9 Ethereals, that's going to be 3 hours per class. And in our testing on the PTR, using this method, the math checks out. Again, we're dealing with statistical variance here, but it took us 45 minutes on the PTR. On the PTR, drop rates are times 20. So you take that 45 minutes, multiply it by 20, and we're right in that range. That means if we were playing on live servers, it would have taken us 15 hours of effort to collect all 21. Because it was PTR, times 20 the drop rates, it took us 45 minutes. So again, that is what you do. We still have to explain how you're going to do it, but what you're going to do, again, level 11 T6 rifts over and over and over. Now we'll cover how you're going to do that. We'll also cover later why you're doing that, but we'll also talk about if you're solo. So how do you do level 11 T6 rifts over and over and over? Well, you need to get a level 11 game. How do you get a level 11 game? You create a game with a fresh character or a character that is level 11 or lower, get that character to level 11, and then you have someone stay in the game while the party leader, level 11, leaves the game. The game is now locked at level 11, so you have your buddy in there who's level 70, but the game level remains 11. You now come back with your level 70 character, and you now have 2 or more people in a level 11 game who are level 70. There's normally no reason you'd want to do this, unless you're pulling off some loot table shenanigans, which is what we're doing. So you now open a rift, it's T6, it's level 11, doesn't matter what you do, what you kill, the game level will not change. The game level will only change if you have someone in the party who is leveling up, and is either under level 11 or up to about level 15 to 17. In that case, the level of the game will change as they level up, which is undesirable. You want to keep it at that sweet spot of level 11 ideally. It could go up to about level 18 or so, that's okay. We'll explain why in a bit, but minimum level 11 is where you want to be. Easy to achieve. You could even have a level 50 character. If they're leveling up, that's okay. They're high enough level that they're not going to adjust or modify the game level as they level. And this is why it's so much faster in a group, because if you're playing solo, the game will always level up with you. So if you're playing solo, that's going to mean you're going to have to basically always level a character from 1 to about the low 20s. But there are things that you can really do to help yourself out if you're solo. That would be, first, you get your level 70 character, then you get a Gem of Ease. You give yourself some gear that is super powerful gear for a level 1 character or a low level character. And this way you can always pass that gear on to a new character and just go through the content really fast, really easily on T6 with a fresh character wearing level 70 gear. You put the Gem of Ease in a weapon to give them that level 70 weapon, and if you want to go the extra mile, you can even put an extra effort to make all of your gear level 70 gear by using the cube recipe to consume a Gem of Ease in order to remove the level requirements from a level 70 item. That said, it's so much easier to do this in a party. You just need one other person if you're having trouble finding groups. I encourage you to join our community group in-game, Rhykker's Raiders. Join our Discord, discord.gg/Rhykker. I'm sure you can find at least one person willing to do this with you because you're all benefiting from getting this achievement. And again, you have 3 months to do this. The vast majority of you, it'll take less than 21 hours of effort. And that's not even counting the Ethereals you'll just get from playing the game normally. All right, now we're gonna get to the fun part for me, which is explaining why this method works. What is the method behind the madness? Well, it all comes down to drop tables. If you are level 70, you get on average 1 Ethereal per 100 legendary or set drops. As a level 70 character, these are all the items that can drop. There's roughly, let's say, 120 items that can possibly drop in this game. But what happens as we lower our level? Oh look, just going to 69, we've eliminated a bunch of items from the drop table. Every item in this game has a minimum level at which it can drop. So the lower in level that we go, let's jump to level 40, bam, we've cut out a bunch of items. Let's drop to level 30, bam. Now this is our loot table at level 30. How many items are here? And we keep going down, 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 and more items are disappearing from our loot table. So it turns out that ethereal items can drop as of at least level 11. Level 11 is a sweet spot. You can get an ethereal drop from a Rift Guardian below level 11, but that's because Rift Guardians seem to have loot tables that are maybe a couple levels higher than the level of the Rift itself. So we're going with level 11 Rifts, in order to get level 11 loot drops from everything in the Rift. Every monster, every chest, everything. Before level 11, Ethereals don't drop or weren't consistently dropping from random monsters. But as soon as we changed the difficulty to level 11, bam, those Ethereals started to rain. And as you can see here, we have about 13 items on this table, and our drop rates for Ethereals range from about maybe, let's say, 1 Ethereal per about 10 legendaries. It depends on your class though. Demon Hunters get Ethereals more easily compared to a Monk. Why? At level 11, a Monk has a lot more items on its loot table. This is a theory that I was really excited to test out and confirm, and we're going to reiterate again here that this is just for the achievement. You're not going to do this to farm Ethereals to use, because you're not going to use a level 11 Ethereal. This is just for getting the full 21 for the cosmetic achievement. So again, as you go higher in level, more items are added to the loot table, polluting the loot table more, making your odds of getting that Ethereal even lower. So you freeze the game at level 11, that optimizes your drop rates of Ethereals at roughly 1 to 10, maybe 1 to 15 or 1 to 20 max. Again, it depends on your class, and that's how you do it. And that's gonna wrap up this video, but do be sure to stay tuned for a bunch more video guides for Diablo 3. Also check out maxroll.gg for your source of all guides for D3 on everything. A lot of my video guides now are collaborations with the awesome Maxroll folks. We got some of the best minds and top players in the game bringing you the best info. Tier list video will come, as always though, it comes closer to the launch of the season. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind the scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out these other videos and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more Diablo content.